As we speak, water being polluted by atrazine is being drank by people like you. Atrazine is commonly used to control broadleaf and grassy weeds and especially corn. It is not, however, limited to corn. We see atrazine in sorghum, sugarcane, pineapple, Christmas trees, and so many other crops.
Well, it's cheap. I like cheap. Cheap is what sustains me and my family. Even best than cheap is that it works. Besides, everyone else is using it. I'm just trying to catch up.
Atrazine is a pesticide manufactured by a Sweden-based company called Syngenta.
We put our complete trust in a company which produces a product that now dominates as the second most used pesticide in the United States. As a hydrologist, it is my job to test our drinking water. I've always found high traces of atrazine, beyond what we can conclude as permissible, and that worries me.
Hello there. We take personal responsibility to ensure the public that Syngenta is absolutely safe. Atrazine passes the most stringent, up-to-date safety requirements in the world.
Well, atrazine can cause quite a few conundrums.
Atrazine poses no threat to the safety of our drinking water supplies.
Birth defects.
In 2008, none of the 122 community water systems monitored in 10 states exceeded the federal state standards set for atrazine in drinking water or raw water.
Low birth weight.
The latest cutting-edge research shows that atrazine has no adverse effect on frogs.
Menstrual problems.
Reviewing the research in 2007,
Prostate cancer.
EPA went so far as to say,
Fertility problems.
the data are sufficiently robust to outweigh previous efforts to study the potential effects of atrazine on amphibian gonadal development.
And so much more. I mean, this is a company that produces 80 million pounds a year in pesticides. That is 80,000 half-ton trucks. This is a product available as dry flowable, liquid, water dispersible granular, and waterable powder formations.
The Environmental Protection Agency has a very strong stance on atrazine. Dr. Steve Bradbury, Office of Pesticide Programs, EPA, concludes with assertion.
We have undertaken the research and evaluated the science and made very careful risk assessment decisions, including external advice from scientists outside EPA, that we have concluded that atrazine does not cause adverse effects to humans or the environment.
We are constantly coming up with new evidence against atrazine that is constantly being challenged by Syngenta. The name of the game is, how long can you sell your product before it gets crushed?
Now let's look at the facts here. I'm talking about the absolute facts. Atrazine is non-toxic to birds. Atrazine is non-toxic to bees. Atrazine is not even toxic to our indicator species friends, the frogs.
Sure, Syngenta can argue all they want that atrazine is non-toxic to frogs. And, in a sense, they are right. What they fail to address is that male frogs now grow eggs. Eggs, effectively turning into hermaphrodites. This has reached a level beyond toxicity. This is mutation.
You know, I feel like we have effectively become the guinea pigs of atrazine. We scurry through the maze like lab rats being deceived at every turn.
I mean, can no one else see the irony? Atrazine is based in Sweden, but it is banned for the whole European Union. That means that the very country that manufactures these things want nothing to do with it.
Believe me, my heart wants to believe that I am wrong about atrazine. We all want to believe that it is, in fact, a healthy pesticide, if such a thing exists. However, what if the EPA is wrong? Here we have been drinking this water for over 50 years nationwide. If we are unfortunately right, we will have an epidemic on our hands. Thanks to deliberate drawbacks by Syngenta, we have only scratched the surface of discovery, when the very generation that were raised on dangerously contaminated water are now entering old age and adulthood. We will figure out for certain very soon the fate of atrazine on humans.
Well, we've already seen the fate of atrazine ecologically. We've already proven that the birds and the bees are safe from toxicity. However, to most aquatic organisms, atrazine is slightly toxic. Atrazine has a low level of bioaccumulation in fish. In whitefish, atrazine accumulates in the brain, the gallbladder, the liver, and the gut. Major problems in the water. This is the second most common pesticide found in private wells and in community wells. Trace amounts have been found in drinking water samples and in groundwater samples in a number of states. Atrazine has been detected in each of the 146 water samples collected at 8 locations from the Mississippi, Ohio, and Missouri rivers and their tributaries. For several weeks, 27% of these samples contained atrazine levels concentrations above the EPA's maximum contaminant level, or MCL.
When you have states like Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, Missouri, Kansas, and Iowa filing lawsuits against Syngenta to recover the cost of filtering out atrazine, know that there is something wrong. In some of these states, the MCL set by the EPA has been grossly exceeded. There are currently 57 states filing suits. Right now, in Middle America, people are going to be drinking water that has atrazine in it. Now, they are going to be relying on their state and local government to give them clean water that won't make them or their children sick. And I believe they have the right to rely on that.
The problem is that man is at war with Earth. Man continues to demand more and more while simultaneously he sacrifices that which he does not realize is of necessity.